Imagine moving into your first place after college, excited, hopeful, ready for a new chapter, only to discover your landlord is a complete monster. Now picture that same slumlord threatening you, violating your privacy, and even refusing to fix basic utilities. Sounds hopeless, right? Well, this story doesn't end the way he thought it would. Intro call to action, next 15 to 20 seconds. If you've ever wished you could, serve icy cold justice to someone who thought they could walk all over you. Hit that like button and subscribe, because today's story is about a tenant who turned the tables on her slumlord and left him absolutely humiliated in court. Full narrative expansion, bulk of story, setup and first red flags. I had just graduated college, packed my life into a few suitcases, and moved across the country for a brand new job. Like most young professionals, I was nervous, broke, and desperate to find a place fast. That's when I met my landlord. He called himself a specialist in helping young people who were new to the state. At first, it sounded like a blessing, but in reality, it was his way of saying, perfect, someone who doesn't know their rights. Easy target. The place looked fine. A duplex close to downtown, decent price, and a promise that it was move-in ready. I signed without thinking twice, but almost immediately, things started to unravel. First, the upstairs neighbors. Loud, obnoxious, blasting music and arguing at all hours. I kept my head down, though. I was quiet, polite. Eventually, they moved out. And that's when the real nightmare began. The landlord sent in his maintenance crew. Maintenance is a generous word. These were scummy guys who treated my home like a frat house. I'd come home to find my toilet seat up, with urine on it. I live alone. I'm a woman. Do the math. Another day. I opened my bedroom dresser to see my underwear drawer rifled through. My things unfolded, tossed around like trash. And then came the mail. My private mail, which was supposed to be locked in a separate box, was inside my apartment, tampered with. That's not just creepy, that's a federal crime. Every day, my stomach nodded before walking through my own front door. I never knew what violation I'd find next. Utilities breakdown and landlord's arrogance. Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, the boiler broke. Except it didn't just break. It locked itself on full blast. Middle of summer, 90 degrees outside, and inside my house, it was a sweltering oven. I called the landlord, desperate. His response? Go ask the neighbors if you can shower. Don't bother with a hotel. And if you do, I'm not paying you back. In fact, I'll take you to court for breach of lease. That was the moment my frustration boiled into rage. My so-called home wasn't safe, wasn't private, wasn't even livable. Turning point, taking action. I started researching. Late nights on tenant law forums, scrolling through legal codes until my eyes burned. And you know what I found? He'd broken the lease in multiple ways. Illegal early morning construction noise failure to provide habitable living conditions. Interference with utility. Violation of tenant privacy. I wasn't powerless. I had rights, and I was about to use them. Revenge plan in motion. I decided to move out. Immediately. But I wasn't leaving quietly. The landlord bombarded me with threats. If you leave early, I'll sue you for breach of contract. But I had a plan. Small claims court. I hired a lawyer to double-check my case. And here's where karma did me the biggest favor of all. Turns out, my lawyer was the slumlord's childhood best friend's dad. I couldn't have scripted it better. Courtroom showdown. The hearing was brutal for him. Every claim he made, like saying, I'd left the apartment. Filthy, collapsed when I presented. Crystal clear photos of a spotless fridge, closets, and floors. He tried to argue the pet deposit was non-refundable. My lawyer leaned forward and dismantled him point by point, while the judge's raised eyebrow said it all. Climactic revenge payoff. Lease terminated because of his breaches. Full return of my security deposit. Last month's rent refund. Plus, that $500 non-refundable pet deposit. And here's the cherry on top. When he tried to stall and refused to pay within 30 days, I marched right into his bank with the judgment and threatened punishment. The look on his face when he realized I could legally reach into his pockets? Priceless. He paid up, fast. Reflective rap. Sometimes, bullies think they can get away with everything, especially when they prey on people who seem powerless. But the truth is, knowing your rights and standing, your ground can turn the tables in the most satisfying way possible. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the worst landlord experience you've ever had? And don't forget to subscribe for more true revenge stories that prove karma always comes back around. Air word count, ~1 930. Almost equal to 13-14 minutes of narration at natural pacing. Do you want me to make this script slightly more dramatic and cinematic, like a Reddit movie trailer vibe? Or keep it grounded and conversational for storytelling narration?